and welcome to this month's edition of Forbes Let's Talk the Insurance Edition podcast. And this time we have again a non-partner guest, which is great, Jade Johnson, who's really recently qualified into insurance. Welcome, Jade.
Thank you.
Is this your first podcast experience?
My first podcast ever.
Oh, well,
ever.
Have you ever listened to a podcast?
And I'm not really a podcast. No,
you're not.
I'm
a
new to it, but I have to say I did listen whilst I was doing mine in the other week to an Oasis podcast that I heard about on Radio 2, and I thought, I'll give that a whirl.
Well, there you go. So then, so you know what it's all about.
Yeah,
then.
so now I do feel like it's something that I could get into.
Well,
people tell me all the time, "Oh, this podcast."
Exactly.
And
good way of getting loads of information really quickly and finding out about interesting people such as yourself.
I try.
So you've just recently qualified, you've done your training contract with Forbes, but that's not the start of your journey, is it? You've been with the firm for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been here since 2009, so a long time, and I've always worked in insurance as well, apart from within the 2 years, obviously, of my training contract. So, yeah, I've been here a while, and I've been doing insurance for a long time.
Excellent. So when you first started, you come into the firm as a paralegal, what sort of work were you doing?
I first started as a paralegal, and I remember it was Paul Geldard who did my interview, and it wasn't really this. I don't know if I've ever actually told anyone about this. It wasn't. I'd applied for 2 jobs at Forbes, and I wanted the family paralegal job.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what defence insurance was, so I didn't really prepare. I just waltzed in, talked to Paul. We ended up talking about, because I'm a Rovers fan and he was a Burnley fan, and they're big rivals. So we ended up talking about that. And then I left, and I remember thinking, I'm really mad that I didn't prepare for that, because sounds really good, and it's something that I know I could do. Yeah. And I'm just gutted that I didn't do a bit more preparation, because I'm never going to get it based on that. And then I got it. So it was just brilliant. So then I loved it from the moment I've started. Excellent. And I started. I don't know what happened at the beginning, whether I was supposed to be Paul Geldard's paralegal or what, but anyway, I ended up being Chris Booth's paralegal. And I worked with him probably for a good 10 years.
So good grounding there.
Yeah.
And you now know what defendant insurance is.
I do know what defendant insurance. Don't ask me to give you.
It's okay. That's the purpose of this podcast, because we have all the people from all the different specialisms come in and chat to us, and it's really nice to get to know the people behind the stories and behind the people who do people's work for them, which is really nice. You obviously enjoyed it. Yeah. Decided to go forward and apply for training contracts. Yeah. What was your training contract experience like? I say that I know I'm one of the graduate recruitment partners, and you have to be nice about it.
It was.
Be truthful.
For me, what I really got out of it and what I really appreciated was sort of getting out, and this sounds bad from an insurance point of view, but getting out of insurance and going round, visiting, meeting different people, working with different people, different offices, and just getting to, for me, that gave me much more confidence in myself, being able to talk to and to know that I could sit in a group of people that I've never met before and work with them well, and make friends and become I'm still friends with some of the girls that I did my second seat in family, and the girls that I sat with in family, we're still friends now. We meet up and go out for tea and stuff, and I think that was just something really nice that I didn't necessarily expect would happen, but did. And
because that's a great thing about a training contract. You get to go around the firm and you get to talk to all sorts of different people and find out about the work they're doing.
Insurance, up until recently, especially because it was at Marsden and it was on its own, it was quite isolated to a degree. You didn't really meet people from outside of insurance, and so that I really enjoyed that element of it. I thought that was really good, and it was good for me personally to sort of have that confidence boost.
Excellent. Do you think there's any new skills that you developed as well when you were around and about the business?
I definitely, because both of my seats were in sort of private client, so you obviously are speaking to individual people a lot of the time, and I think that massively improved my confidence with speaking actually on the phone and speaking face to face with clients. 'Cause I think especially in insurance you can get used to emails, so that definitely helped, and just sort of that client care element as well, because it's individual people. I think that improved my client care skills. So yeah, definitely those skills I think I've brought back to insurance.
Excellent, that's good stuff. And you've qualified in March into insurance.
Yeah.
Working between Blackburn and Leeds.
Yeah.
How does it feel being a qualified solicitor?
Good.
At the end of that long road?
Good. It feels good. I've eventually achieved what I set out to achieve all those years ago. And I have to say, I'm proud of myself.
Good. Give yourself a pat on the back, because it's a long journey as well, and for lots of people, it's not. People think, it's the straight 6 year journey. You go uni, LPC, or now the SQE into training contract, and you're done. But actually, there's lots of different routes. There's
not get in the way, but
life happens.
Things in my life. You get married, I have children, and it's just things got put on the back burner. And it's just not necessarily what. But then eventually. Got there and it's ticked off. And you're working between Leeds and Blackburn, so you're working with some of the heavyweights of our defendant insurance department. Obviously the lovely Tim Smith, who's been on and talked about his trees and Japanese knotweed, and Sarah Davies-Worth, who's doing the house in disrepair stuff. So that's a new sort of string to my bow, because I have dabbled a little bit in housing disrepair, but not really. So that's been obviously being a newly qualified solicitor, and then that's been new to me as well. But that has actually been, Sarah's obviously the guru, so she very approachable, friendly. So I know that I can go in and be like, Sarah, I don't get this, and she'll just explain.
And then you'll find that your training and your development is just shooting up so much. So
and they give me confidence, and they make me feel like I'm not, like I do know what I'm doing. So that's good. So they've been really good.
That's really good.
And then I do some days in Rutherford as well, and just try and keep seeing everybody.
Well, that's good as well, because that's spreading your wings as well around the firm, isn't it? And I think historically, because defendant insurance was based at Marsden House in Blackburn, which is sadly now gone. But we've got teams based in Leeds, Manchester, still Rutherford House, but at some point soon coming over to Gordon House,
which I think will actually be really good.
Which is our flagship office, and that will mean that you can mix and cross sell with other departments and really get involved.
And that is so much that you learn from what the departments do as well, and how they do things, and that's something else that I've picked up from. Obviously going round on your training contract and meeting even just other trainees because they've obviously all come from different backgrounds as well, what they do differently and how that could help insurance or what we do better. Do you know what I mean? And that's been really useful,
because there's lots we'll have to collaborate on, like going forward with AI and all of that sort of thing, and we can all learn from each other about that and what different departments are doing. So it's going to be interesting.
It's exciting times.
It's really exciting. So 3 months in, well, it's just over 3, 4, nearly 5 probably months since qualification. But when we put it in the diary, it was 3 months since qualification. Does it feel any different being qualified?
Yes and no, in the sense of I feel like the work that I'm doing, obviously because I've worked in insurance for a long period of time. Before I did my training contract, I did have my own small caseload, for example. So that element of it is gone back to that, but it's different in the sense that I'm doing housing disrepair now, so that's completely different. But I just feel like, I suppose now people are looking to me for answers, when in the past it would have been me asking the question. I've got paralegals and trainees asking me, so that's a bit like, can you approve this and can you sign this, and I'm just like but you just sort of have to just think, I read it, that's fine, and if I don't know, that's too much for me, get somebody else to check it.
Well, that's it, and then
you just have to know your sort of
your limits,
your boundaries, if you will.
But you're obviously loving it and you're really enjoying it. When I've been over in Leeds, you've looked like you're absolutely loving it.
The office.
It's
the
brilliant,
people are brilliant,
isn't it? It's just a really nice, supportive environment. Because I think a lot of people don't realise that actually we do so many different specialisms within defendant insurance.
I'm trying to steer clear of the Japanese knotweed.
The Japanese knotweed. I mean,
I'm like Tim.
Tim is very good with that. He's very good.
He tries to get me involved. And I'm like, but I don't mind. The housing disrepair is, I'm enjoying that. That's good.
I suppose as well, because in previous life you're doing the accident work and the fraud work.
Yeah, I've dabbled in a bit of everything because I've done disease.
Oh yes,
when Chris used to do disease, so I've done some disease. The only thing I've not really touched ever is social services.
Yeah.
But most other areas I've done something in.
Which is good, which is a good grounding, isn't it? And it's good overall knowledge of everything, which is really good. So when you're not being a newly qualified solicitor and doing insurance work, what do you like doing in your spare time?
Well, I'm a mum, so that takes up a lot of my time because I've got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, that would take a lot of time.
So they're at the age where they still need me to, be there. But that's fun. We've just actually been to Matlock Baths for a little few day break. Went to Gulliver's World.
Oh, lovely.
Abraham Heights.
Oh,
we had the weather.
Nice. Oh, it's beautiful.
It was lovely. And do you know what? A really nice place.
Well, I was actually in Matlock on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, it is, because I'm from Nottingham, so I meet my family halfway.
So it's not like somewhere that I've ever thought of.
No, it's beautiful.
And I just thought, how lovely is this?
Yeah, Matlock, Bakewell, all around there.
We went to Bakewell.
Absolutely beautiful.
I got a Bakewell toy. We walked down that river.
What a great few days
away.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. And then at the end of it, there was a splash park, and they were loving that.
Yeah.
I could just sit on my bench watching them, and I thought, brilliant.
Perfect.
So so there's that. I am a Rovers fan, so we'll be going to the first match of the season on Friday.
Oh yeah, of course, Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a diehard, but I do,
Have they got Derby on?
Yes.
Friday, yeah.
The little girl's got a season ticket, so that's made me get back into it.
Excellent.
And so just stuff like that, meeting my friends, reading. I love to read. Just general normal stuff.
And we're also both obviously on the Forbes Equality, Diversity, Inclusion and Belonging Committee as well, which I think is going from strength to strength at the moment. Mm-hmm. And we seem to be it seems to be growing in members and all the traction and all the things we're doing. And Leeds recently had their Pride party.
That was good. Although, I arranged it, and I thought, it'll be really good, and I'll do some Pride bingo, throw that into the mix. So I got one from Etsy, and I'm doing it. And then somehow it went wrong, and I don't know what happened, but there was no overall. Everyone just had one left. We're waiting for me to call this one out, and I'm thinking, none left. So somehow it had gone wrong, but it was fine. Someone still won the line. We just had no full house. So
because we brought the Pride parties in last year, didn't we? And it was such a massive success.
I listened to the playlist as well.
Listen to the playlist, the Forbes playlist.
We got that.
Things, which is really good. So this year, it's everybody's kind of taken it on, and everybody's matched it to their local Pride. So Leeds did it when Leeds Pride, Preston are doing it with Preston Pride. We're doing Manchester and Salford are doing after Manchester Pride. Yeah. So it's good. It's like now we're kind of getting into the flow with it. Everything's.
And I think year on year we can still do that element of it, but then each year you can add something new to it as it goes and on and on, as we go on. So I think that'll, there's good things to come.
Oh, absolutely. And you did for last year for Remembrance Day, you did that beautiful piece on people
which
around
I will
Forbes.
do again, because I think some people, I was contacted after it by people who said, I didn't realise that it was going to look like that. Actually, I've got somebody that I would have. So then I was like, well, if I do it again next year, obviously feel free to add those people in. So I will probably, if obviously he did agree, I will
we had a meeting last week while you were in Matlock Bath, and you were doing that. I did that. But it was just such a beautiful piece, because it was like people around the firm and loved ones who served in the armed forces, and it was such a lovely personal thing.
I just liked it because I liked as well the historic. Like there was people now, there was people 10 years ago, there were people 50 years ago, the history of it as well, I just thought was really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? And for us to be able to tell all these stories, I think I've noticed, I don't know if it's just because I'm on the UDIB committee, but people chat to me all the time about different things, and it's learning about all the different religions and everything. It's just such a... But then to learn about neurodiversities as well, and there's so much learning to do, isn't there? And
you're just best having an open mind and just... accepting all that information,
Exactly, and it's lovely that the firm supports it so much as well, which is great. So it's going from strength to strength, isn't it? Which is fabulous. It's really good. So all these things are great. So what skills, if somebody's listening to this and they're thinking of applying for a training contract, because I know lots of people do, what would be your top tips? What would you say?
I think definitely you need to have confidence and to be able to show confidence in yourself and in your abilities. I think it is good to have had some experience, some relevant work experience. And then I think the key is just, prepare. And I think you have to just believe in yourself and believe that you're going to do it and you can do it and go for it. And I think that shines through then. That's
what I would say to people, because if you believe in yourself, you've got to believe in yourself and then other people to be able to believe in you. And if you're shining through, and I always say as well that if you've got a topic that interests you and you might think, oh, that's not related to law, it's not interesting, it quite often is. So we had people talk to us about what their interests were, like listening to podcasts or sport or...
Well, just like I said at the very beginning, when I was that interview where that's not what, I wouldn't suggest you don't prepare, but we ended up talking about something non-law related, football related, and having getting on with each other and being able to have a conversation, and that's what in the end shone through. Do you know what I mean? I think that's important.
Definitely. Oh, it definitely is. It really is. And being able to talk confidently about something that you enjoy as well. Because half of our work, whether you work in the consumer side of the business or the commercial side of the business, and insurance is kind of a mix between the two a lot of the time. Like people I deal with can be big insurance companies, but it can be housing associations, it can be small businesses that have maybe sadly exposed someone to mesothelioma, asbestos a long time ago, and it's a mesothelioma claim, and they haven't got insurance, and it might send the business under, and you're talking to different levels of people.
You've got to be able to get on with people.
You've got to be able to get on with people. That's half the thing. So
and having that sort of confidence, because that's something that I think I've picked. I mean, I was chatting to a client that obviously not new to Forbes but new to me, that I'd not spoken to before, and we ended up talking about MAVs and Love Island, and because then you sort of get to know each other.
Just MAVs is Married at First Sight for the
Australia,
the
Australian one.
Yeah, just for those who may not watch it.
Just getting to know each other like that first before we then delved into what we're actually talking about, and that was good, because then you feel like you get to know them. And I knew that she was going to go on holiday, so it's like next time I spoke to her, did you have a nice time? And it's just that kind of you're building those relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's important.
Yeah. So that's all good, isn't it? And it's just taking it to that next level. We're all really proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
I know. And you're also mentoring some of our trainees this year as well.
Which I'm excited about.
Exactly. I bet that, because you're so close to the experience as well, must be really exciting.
I had a really good mentor. My trainee mentor was amazing.
Oh, who did you have?
I had Alice Earnshaw.
Oh, Alice, brilliant.
And she was brilliant. She took the time to meet me and speak to me, but also I sometimes had to pick up the phone and speak to her. And she was amazing. So I always think, well, if I had that, I'd like to be able to give that to somebody else.
I'm sure you will. The people you've got are very excited as well, so that's good.
I'm excited.
And I think that's the lovely thing as well, because as the graduate recruitment partners, we recruit people, and then we look after you all while you go through the process, and then we take you out to university law fairs and get you meeting students with me as well. Get you walking a marathon. Well, that is a funny story that I'm going to bring up.
In my thick winter coat in the boiling hot sun.
As I do all the time, I went, it's only 5 minutes away.
Just across the road.
Just across the road, 5 minutes away. You just got a 2 mile trek down to Manchester University and still going. But we do get you involved in all this stuff, and as a trainee, and then after being a trainee, because we think, it helps, and it helps brilliant. You've then got a cohort of about 5 or 6 years worth of people that are really bonded.
And that's good going forward, because then I can think to myself, I need to ask, Alice will know that. Or I know somebody in whatever department, I'll speak to. And up until that point, I wouldn't necessarily have known.
No, exactly.
Do you know? So now I feel much more comfortable with having people that I know all over, which is good.
Exactly, and really the dream is that in sort of 10, 15 years, that's a partnership cohort then that get on really well and can make sensible business decisions together. So there's all a plan, there's all a method in it. There's
a method in the madness.
There's a method in the madness. It's all there, and we're all doing it. But we're all really glad you're getting on really well and you're really enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So you must have some funny stories from over the years as well.
Oh, God. Put me on the spot. I I won't be able to think of any from.
No, it's
the top of my
fine.
head.
You don't have to think about it off the top of your head, but yeah, you must you must have seen like a lot in terms of not even in respect to funny stories, but kind of going between the offices and change in the firm and over the last sort of 12 years, how much it's changed.
Yeah. It's massively changed from when I first started, for the better, I would say. Not that it was bad, but I just think, it's progressed. It's gone in a good direction.
Yeah, it's progressing definitely, absolutely. Well, we love it because obviously we've now been nearly 6 months in our new swanky Manchester office, and it's. Have you been yet?
No.
Oh, you have to come. It's beautiful. It's really, really lovely, and I think the rebrand as well has given everyone a bit of a spring in their step as well.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. So we're really enjoying it.
Very modern and fresh.
Yeah, which is good. I think it's given everyone a bit of a boost there.
Yeah. Get rid of the orange.
Yeah. Yeah. The black and white's great, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
And I like it with those, like the pastel colours. Yeah. They're nice.
That makes it look really nice, doesn't it? And so what's next for you? What do you sort of see the next couple of years looking like for Jade Johnson? Hopefully
just doing what I'm doing, doing it well. And then I'll just take any opportunity that comes my way. And I'd like to think that within, I don't know how yearly wise, but I'd like to think that I could progress up to associate and beyond.
Yeah, brilliant.
So just keep going, I suppose.
And you're enjoying the housing disrepair stuff, and it's interesting. There's lots of different components to housing disrepair, I always think.
It's took me a while to sort of get my head round some of it. And I do miss the sort of injury. But I'm sure that as time moves on, I'll be able to get back into more of that kind of thing. So I also miss, like, a lot of it is pre-litigation. I feel like I miss that litigation as well element, but again, that's in time, because the pre-lit ones that I've got now may litigate.
Yeah,
so
they will. It's all a development process.
It's all in time. So, and then come to me in 12 months, I'm like, stop issuing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Sarah says you're doing really well with it all. The training's going really well, so that's really good. Yeah. And it's exciting doing, qualifying, learning new skills. It's all exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, excellent.
All positive.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
And on that, we shall end on a positive note and say thank you very much for coming on. And it's been lovely having you as a guest.
Thank you.